Hello Wolfpack, a quick little video today on Ethereum and Ethereum's correlation to the total cryptocurrency market cap, and that is this chart here. And the correlation, not necessarily correlation, but the similarities are striking at this point. And what we can do with that is we can understand that, hey, seeing as these similarities are striking over the last few months, I mean literally insanely prominent over the last few months, we can kind of determine using either chart, which way either of the charts is going to go. And the striking similarities make sense, right? Ethereum is the second biggest cryptocurrency coin. It is the leader of the altcoins, and so most altcoins will look vaguely like Ethereum, and the cryptocurrency total market cap chart will look vaguely like Ethereum as well. But it doesn't need to, okay? Because Bitcoin doesn't look like this, right? It looks similar to this, but not necessarily like this. And so the striking resemblance to Ethereum is something that is somewhat unique, okay? Take it with a grain of salt if you want to, but it's somewhat unique. And especially the structure we're in, because we're not seeing this kind of structure on Bitcoin right now. What we see on Bitcoin is something of a triple top formation with 3 flat tops and something like that, okay? But right now on Ethereum, we're seeing a clear symmetrical triangle formation, and we're seeing the same thing on the total cryptocurrency market cap chart. We're also seeing on Ethereum very similar RSI, very similar MACD to the total cryptocurrency market cap chart, right? So same thing here. This is the Ethereum chart, very similar RSI. Let me change this out here. Very similar RSI, very similar MACD to the total cryptocurrency market cap chart. And the positionings of the indicators are obviously very similar as well, because these charts look the same, okay? And obviously there's going to be a correlation just due to the nature of the charts, but they look very similar. And so using that information, we can determine the trend using each one or the other. And so usually what happens when you see a symmetrical triangle formation like we're seeing now on Ethereum in a downwards trend is you see a breakdown, okay? A symmetrical triangle formation is, at the end of the day, a pattern of continuation, okay? Whatever the trend is going into the triangle, so for example, whatever the trend is going into the triangle, in this case downwards, usually, not always, doesn't happen every time, but usually about 70% of the time, it leads to a breakdown and a continuation of that trend. It is a pattern of consolidation. It is like a resting period for that trend, but it does usually lead to a break to the upside, okay? To the downside in this case, and a continuation of that trend. And so obviously when we look at the total cryptocurrency market cap, we have the same thing happening, right? A strong downwards trend, a bit of a symmetrical triangle formation, and generally speaking, we're probably going to see a breakdown to the downside as these symmetrical triangle formations generally do happen, right? As they do play out. Now, on the total cryptocurrency market cap, and again, this is going into the kind of striking resemblances. On the cryptocurrency market cap, we have a strong uptrending down line here all the way from January 2021. Okay, this is this pink line, this bottom pink line, strongly uptrending. That forms the bottom of symmetrical triangle. On Ethereum, we could probably draw something a little bit similar. Okay, but it's not as striking, it's not as prominent, it's not as straight. And so what we can say here is that if the total cryptocurrency market cap drops below, say, 1.65 trillion, that's going to lead to a breakdown. The targeted breakdown for the symmetrical triangle formation would bring us to the price region at around this support block here, which is going to be the 1.1 trillion support block, which is where we found support in the June to July kind of crash period, or May to July crash period. So that would bring us down to prices we haven't seen since May to July. If the same thing happened on Ethereum, and which it will happen on Ethereum, that would send Ethereum to the price regions of around 1,700. That is a correction of around, let's see, 38%, 35%. On Ethereum, a 35% correction on Ethereum will lead to about a 45 to 50% correction on most altcoins. Okay, and that is just the reality we're facing here on Ethereum, and that's the reality we're facing here on the total cryptocurrency market cap. Okay, and now looking at indicators, for example, for Ethereum, we can see that there's not really any sign that will break this to the upside. I mean, first and foremost, we have the fact that symmetrical triangle formation is a pattern of consolidation before continuation. Okay, so that's a bearish sign. It's a continuation pattern. We also have the fact that the macro structure here was an ascending wedge formation that we broke to the downside, which is bearish. Okay, we have seen a little bit of a move downwards, but it hasn't really completed, right? This ascending wedge formation ultimately is targeting much lower. Okay, and it still is playing out. So macro formation, it is targeting the region at around 1,200 USD. Okay, and that doesn't mean we get there. It just means it targets lower than 2,700, which we're at right now. Also, when we start to think about this chart logically on Ethereum, we start to think about, well, what would actually happen if we did break this triangle to the upside? Well, we would be met with fierce resistance coming from the Gaussian channel, coming from a 200-day SMA, and coming from the bull market support band. We also simply just don't look like we have the volume to close that candle above the symmetrical triangle, with descending volume on every upwards trend here, meaning that upwards trends lose momentum and downwards trends, generally speaking, gain momentum. So even if we do break this to the upside, which again is a possibility, it looks like a rejection would be kind of a clear scenario, and the highest we could probably get would be 3,400 USD. So even if we break to the upside, again, it's just like Bitcoin. Even if we break to the upside, I don't see how the strength would get us over the line unless some major global event happens that brings in a massive amount of buying momentum, which again is possible. It just doesn't seem likely. Now, if we bring up something like the 4-hour chart on Ethereum, even the 4-hour chart would suggest that we're going to head downwards. Now, it does have this RSI support line here that's been going on since around January the 23rd. So that's a long term, that's a month and a half, almost a month and a half of RSI uptrend. It would suggest we come down a little bit further to bounce off support on that uptrend, and that would bring us down most likely to the bottom of a triangle. If we had to draw it again, it would probably bring us down to the region here at around 2,300 to 2,400. We might see a little bounce up, right? And we might see, just going back to the daily chart, we might see something like this where we come back and retest the breakout spot. At that point, if we have the buying momentum, we might break out. But again, bringing up some of that resistance from before, even if we break out after that bounce, it's going to be most likely going to be a rejection, because there's simply not the buying momentum at this point in time to bring us over the line here, cross the line. And so if we see on the 4-hourly chart a swing back down and the bounce over the triangle of resistance, we're probably going to reject anyway. We're probably going to head downwards. So what I would suggest is that regardless of anything, Ethereum's probably going to be heading downwards to a lower support line at around 2,400. From that point, it might jump up a little bit, might jump up to test for triangle resistance, might jump up to 3K, might jump up to 3.4K, potentially probably 3K, and then it's probably going to ultimately reject. And the longer term target for Ethereum at this point, just coming from what I said before about the triangle formation, is going to be anywhere between 1,700 and 1,200. Now, I could be a little bit more precise. I could say 1,400 to 1,200, but at this point, it's a little bit too vague. We don't have enough price history on Ethereum to kind of make those precise predictions. But essentially what I'm saying to you guys is that, well, there is a strong similarity between the total cryptocurrency market cap chart and the Ethereum chart, both of which look bearish, both of which look like they're going to break their major uptrending line for the entirety of a 2021 bull cycle, particularly the cryptocurrency total market cap chart. I mean, this pink line here on this chart is the supporting line for the entire bull run. And that looks like it's going to break. You know, if we break this triangle to the downside, that's gone. That's going to lead to a swing back to those May prices and possibly even a touch of a 200-week SMA on the total cryptocurrency market cap chart, bringing the market cap of the cryptocurrency market down to around $750 billion. Or at the time we get there, probably looking at around $850 billion. But that's about a half in valuation. That could absolutely, destroy altcoins. And again, I'm not making this video to be ultra bearish. I'm just telling you what I see here. I'm telling you the fact that, well, just looking at this chart, looking at this weekly chart, it's really not hard to see if you have any knowledge of technical analysis in the slightest, that, hey, look what's happening. We're seeing a symmetrical triangle formation. We're on the uptrending level of support. We're struggling to hold on to it. We've seen multiple candles on here and we're struggling to hold on to it. Long whips to the upside. We're testing against resistance here. This red box is resistance. We're testing against the 50-week SMA, testing against the 21-week EMA, failing to break above it, and we look like we might be dropping. And if we do drop, we're in for a loss over the next few months of around 50% in the total cryptocurrency market cap. So I'm just showing you the objective facts of the situation, and the objective facts of the situation lie in the fact that it doesn't look good. And even if we break to the upside, there's a lot of progress we need to be making before we can confidently say we're bullish on Ethereum and bullish on total cryptocurrency market cap again. And when you're bullish on Ethereum, it essentially means you're bullish on altcoins. And so this goes to show as well, there's really not much strength in the altcoin market. We can quickly take a look at the Bitcoin dominance chart. Okay, and this is a chart that essentially measures the strength of Bitcoin in relation to every other coin. Okay, so the strength of Bitcoin in relation to every other coin. So the percentage of money in the cryptocurrency market, in the cryptocurrency space that is in Bitcoin in relation to altcoins. Currently, we're at 43%, which means 43% of every single dollar in cryptocurrency is in Bitcoin. So when this thing trends upwards, obviously that means Bitcoin's gaining strength against altcoins, and that's what typically happens during bear markets, okay? Because people flock to Bitcoin as it's the safest asset in the cryptocurrency space. It's been around for the longest. People see it as kind of a safe haven, and they sell their altcoins. And so what we're seeing now is that this thing is showing clear signs of a triple bottom formation, clear signs of a renewed upwards trend on the way. And as I said, when this thing trends upwards, it generally means you're in a bear market. So right now, we're looking at Bitcoin dominance chart, we're looking at total cryptocurrency market cap, we're looking at Ethereum, we're looking at Bitcoin, we're looking at the DXY, we're looking at the traditional markets, we're looking at interest rates. None of it's showing us too good signs. And so applying that to Ethereum, it looks as though we're probably going to be breaking this triangle formation to the downside. And if we break to the upside, it's going to be very hard to break through. It's probably going to be a bull trap. That's what I'm looking at, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. It bothers me. It bothers me when I make ultra bearish videos like this. I don't like being the bearer of bad news, but I feel like I have to because I feel like there's not enough of that in the space. But you guys probably know that. I've said that like 100 times by now. But thanks for watching the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.